In the Advanced Auto Parts world of Outlaws, there is just one capital, Knoxville, the capital of sprint car racing. It's two-time world champion Donnie Schatz's favorite place to race, and for good reason. Schatz has won 5 of the last 7 at this racetrack, including a victory in the prestigious Knoxville Nationals. But if there's one thing you can say about this legendary Iowa Oval, it's not always a friendly host. Will Schatz rule here once again tonight, or could hometown hero Terry McCarl pull off the upset just like he did last year? Welcome back to the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws. From the sprint car capital of the world and the home of the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Knoxville, Iowa, Speed is proud to bring you coverage of the greatest show on dirt, the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. And even though it's a small town here in Knoxville, Iowa, the race fans know this place very well. The weather's been severe in the Midwest, and despite some heavy wind, we are set to go racing on the half-mile clay oval, located roughly 35 miles away from Des Moines, Iowa. Hello, everyone, and welcome in once again. I'm Bobby Gerald alongside Sprint Car Hall of Famer Brad Doty, and we're back at Knoxville. And this is a place where if you're a sprint car driver or a sprint car team, you really want to shine. But Brad, as we look back through the history of winners at this racetrack, we find that in the 30th year of Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws racing, only 15 drivers have captured an Advanced Auto Parts A main event feature event win. The question is, why is that number so small?
That is a good question, and really that is surprising. We figure that's probably 80-plus races, 15 different winners. I think a lot of it is this is a high-speed racetrack, takes a lot of horsepower. Some of the better-funded teams have that horsepower. But also from a driver's standpoint, there's a lot of speed here, a lot of mile per hour. The track can slick off, the cushion can be right up against the wall. It takes a lot of nerve to get around this place.
Well, since the last time we were with you, there's been a change atop the point standings. Donnie Schatz has overtaken Jason Myers by winning the last 2 Advanced Auto Parts A main events, and Schatz has won 5 of the last 7 here at this racetrack, Brad.
Including the last 2 Knoxville Nationals. So obviously everybody's looking at his race car tonight going into this show. They know if they want to be in victory lane, they got to beat him.
But there are a tough group of local racers here at the Knoxville Raceway, and for more on that part of the story, let's go to Shane Andrews.
In racing, or in any facet of life, knowledge is power. The more you know, the better you're going to do. And it applies to sprint car racing, in particular here at Knoxville Raceway. 3 drivers that are former track champions here have used their local knowledge to help propel them to greater heights. Kerry Madsen out on the road now with the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws. 7-time track champion Danny Lasowski, and this guy behind me, Terry McCarl. He racked off 6 track championships in a row. How important is knowledge of Knoxville Raceway? Why, last year, Terry McCarl used it to his advantage to pick up the win.
Well, we talked a little bit about the competitors here at Knoxville, but Brad, what about this racetrack? You almost have to count that as an adversary as well.
Well, again, we talked about in the open, it's so fast, it's high speed, up on the cushion, and anything can happen. Some vicious crashes here at Knoxville as we're going to see. Watch going into turn 1.
This is from last year at the Knoxville Nationals. Brandon Wimmer getting into Chad Kimenoff. And, you know, we could show you 10 different crashes, but this one pretty much says it all about Knoxville and how hard you hit and how much speed you carry.
That shows as a driver, you know exactly how fast you're going when you hit that wall. These cars disintegrated, but both drivers did get out and walk away. You see Chad Kimenoff there, but he did miss a couple of races after this event with a concussion.
Yeah, I think he was walking away on adrenaline there. He ended up missing 2 or 3 races after that with a concussion. Of course, Chad is back racing with us this year. That's Brandon Wimmer going off on the golf cart right there. So, qualifying has been completed. We will reveal the Q Oils quick timer when we come back. The fans settling in and getting ready for a night of racing with the greatest show on dirt, the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. You are watching Speed. The Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series is brought to you by Q Motor Oil. Unleash all your horses. By Crane Cams, engineered to win. And by America's Best Value Inn. We've got you covered. Great place to go sprint car racing right here, Brad Doty. The National Sprint Car Hall of Fame sits just off of
turn number 2, and for years and years, this has been the spot for sprint car racing.
It really has. That's why the museum's there. And if you get a chance to go through that, boy, it's incredible. They keep changing it up, adding new things, and it's never boring over there. A lot of neat old history over there.
Let's tell you more about the Knoxville Raceway with your Mahindra Tractors track fact. Brad, I think one thing that sticks out about this racetrack is how wide the straightaways and the turns are.
Well, it's kind of interesting because the back chute's only 60 feet wide, so coming out of turn 2, you see a lot of action back there, a lot of close action. The front straightaway's 80 feet wide, so they have a little more room to maneuver. 8 degrees banking, of course, track record 14.407. Brooke Tatnall has that, so we talked about in the open, it is a fast racetrack.
And that was set in May of 2006, just a couple of years ago. Well, what about tonight? Who was the top qualifier, the Key Royals quick timer tonight? It was Jason Myers, and we talked about how Jason Myers had lost his points lead to Donnie Schatz, but he comes right out of the box strong tonight.
Yeah, blew a tire last week at Eldora, but in the open we talked about a lot of horsepower. They got good horsepower in it. The car's running nice and straight through the corners.
So a good start for Myers, who's determined to get back on top of the point standings this weekend after losing that spot to Donnie Schatz last week.
Well, you know, unfortunately, we got a flat tire there last week and leading that race and kind of give Donnie a gift there. So we're going to have to fight hard back to get that, but we want it real bad. This is definitely our year to go out and win this championship. We're going to do everything it takes to get it done.
As it turned out, Donnie Schatz was second quick, and Joey Saldana ended up third quick. And at that point, it looked like everything was going pretty well for him during the night, but things got a little crazy after this third quick lap.
Yeah, everything went downhill from there. They made 2 engine changes. Because that engine change, or the engine problem they had, rather, that ruined the rear end, they had to change the rear end. This crew, everybody chipped in, worked so hard. You see him pulling here after one of the engine changes, they're firing it up, getting some heat in that engine.
And that's one of those deals, Brad, where you're thrashing so much on the car, you really don't have any idea how your car is going to go out and perform in a heat race. And it had to be some anxious moments here for Joey Saldana's Jason Johnson, actually teammate, was having to chip in on getting the work done.
It's amazing they got this car back out. I even made the comment when they were doing this, I didn't think they were going to make the lineup in the heat race. They got this car back to the stage in his spot, did start in his spot, and had a good start of the heat race, as we'll see here.
You look at heat race number 3, Joey started outside the second row, and watch him there in Casey Kane's number 9 Budweiser machine. He sweeps to the outside, and that start really propelled him to get into a position to finish second in his heat race. That set him up for the dash, and Shane Andrews talked with Joey.
What precipitated the motor changes?
Well, we went out hot laps and felt like the motor was tying up, and we've had some oil pressure issues, so they tried some things at the engine shop, and we got 3 new engines back, and just something went wrong, and it was just burning the motors up. So if you can put them in and run them, but it's just going to cost Casey more money, and we don't want to do that, and we want to run good for Mopar. So we took him out and just trying to figure out what we were doing, and in the process we broke a rear end, which happened to us at the Grove when we had to pull our other car down. So I don't know, it's just been a really tough night, but my team, I mean, they're working hard. You can see it now, they haven't given up yet. So we got a long race ahead of us. Hopefully we can get this Budweiser car up front.
Kudos right there to Justin Adams, Cale Kane, Colton Joust, Willie Kane, the whole crew getting that one together. Brad, I take my car to the shop, it takes 3 weeks, and they got that thing ready awfully quick.
Pretty amazing. Joey said 3 engine changes. He's counting the engines they had in the car when they got here. Those guys did work very hard to get that car back out.
So Joey put himself into the crane cams dash, and how about the dash? Up front, Brooke Tatnall jumping out in front in the 11AU car, and you see Joey Saldana there in the middle of the pack trying to find his way in the number 9 car, kind of towards the back there. And he and Jason Myers had some close moments. But up front, Brooke Tatnall pulling away, and I think this might have been a little bit of a surprise to some of the guys here tonight that Brooke Tatnall was able to run this strongly in the dash. He'll start on the pole.
Well, he's got an Australian-built chassis, a cool chassis, and also Alan Felsch engine under that hood. Alan's been with Tatnall for many, many years, and it's good to see that combination on the front row.
Brooke Tatnall will be joined on that front row by Tony Bruce Jr. Donnie Schatz ended up running 3rd, so he'll start inside of row number 2 for Advanced Auto Parts, a main event. The Crane Cams Dash winner once again was Brooke Tatnall. Knoxville Raceway, the sprint car capital of the world, and it'll be another big opportunity here, Brad, for Brooke Tatnall to establish himself further as a star here at this racetrack. He will be on the pole of tonight's Advanced Auto Parts A main.
Yeah, with Brooke not running the entire series this year and to be on the pole tonight, I'd say he's going to be a little nervous at the start of this one.
Good stuff. More sprint car racing to come. This is the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. Nice shot of the moon there as we welcome you back to the Mediacom Shootout at Knoxville Raceway for the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. Getting set for our Advance Auto Parts A main, and there is the number 24 car. Knoxville Raceway, without question, the sprint car capital of the world. But for local boy Terry McCarl, Knoxville Raceway is home.
This is the place. This is Knoxville. It's, you know, it's sprint car capital of the world, and it deserves that moniker. It's a place everybody wants to come and win. It's just Knoxville. It's the Indianapolis of sprint car racing, and you know, everybody, like I said, wants to win here, and I've been fortunate enough that I just live 30 minutes away, and I've been able to be pretty successful here.
Pretty successful is right. Winning a track championship at Knoxville is a monumental achievement. Stringing 6 consecutive titles together is a Herculean feat. And Terry McCarl, a local boy from nearby Altoona, Iowa, is the one who did it. Here at a place that has been a part of his life ever since he can remember.
Yeah, I sat right up here, watched my dad race, and he had a couple different drivers, things like that. And I did what my boys probably do. I sat up here and criticized him all the time and got mad when he didn't do good. And then the first time I ever pushed off at Knoxville, I thought, you know what, there's a lot less room out here than it seems like from up in the grandstand. So I had a lot more respect for him as soon as I pushed off into a sprint car here.
McCarl conquered Knoxville for the first time as an outlaw last season when he won the Mediacom Shootout. But this colorful driver may be best known for his next win in Ohio, where in a brazen move he passed champion Donnie Schatz, saying goodbye with what has become known simply as the Wave. It was a classic example of why no one will ever call TV Terry too serious.
That's not the way I motivate myself, you know, and I have to stay loose and I have to be having fun for me to do well, or I get you know, I get angry, or I don't have a clear mental picture. So for me, that's you know, half the battle. That night, me and my crew were having a blast. I mean, I was singing in the car, doing fun things all night long, you know, before that, and that's part of what I do to keep myself loose, and that helps me to be a better race car driver.
But even if he weren't a driver, there's no doubt T-Mac would be working somewhere on the speedway. If anyone has sprint car racing in his blood, it's Terry McCarl.
I'm just a fan. I love all racing, but I'm a huge fan of sprint car racing. People can say whatever they want about Terry McCarl, but you know, I'm really 100% behind sprint car racing and the growth for the future, and I hope to be involved with this my whole life, and hopefully my boys can be too.
So Terry McCarl is going to be in a good starting spot tonight. We'll show you our super clean start of the race grid here momentarily, but right now, Brad, they line up in rows of 4.
Giving that to the crowd, salute to the crowd. This, I tell you, the fans love this as these guys line up 4 abreast, rolling around the racetrack.
All the sprint car drivers will be waving at the fans. The fans will be waving back at them as they head down the front straightaway. How about the Sweets getting in on the action there at the National Sprint Car Hall of Fame in Museum, flicking the lights on and off. And now let's throw it over to Johnny Gibson.
Knoxville Raceway, you one of the best. You got a 4 abreast, often imitated, never duplicated, the greatest show on dirt, the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws.
Always an exciting time for sprint car fans, sprint car racers everywhere. Let's get you to the super clean start of the race. Here is the grid for tonight's 30-lapper. It will be Brooke Tatnell in the 11AU car on the pole alongside Tony Bruce Jr. in car number 18. Donnie Schatz. The last time the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws raced here, the feature was over in 7 minutes and 14 seconds, and Schatz was the winner. Terry McCarl will start outside of row number 2. In row number 3, Quickliner Cup winner Shane Stewart in the 83 car alongside Jack Hodenshield, who's having a fantastic year, running 5th in the point standings. Jason Myers and Joey Saldana making up row number 4, and you see the lineup the rest of the way through as we focus in on the big Q number 11 of Steve Kinzer. Kinzer, a couple of feature event wins, currently sitting in 6th place in the points, but Brad, no one has won more features at this racetrack in World of Outlaws competition than Steve Kinzer.
Yeah, nobody's won more Knoxville Nationals than that guy right there. He definitely knows his way around this racetrack.
Also, Craig Delansky doing very well in the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws season standings right now. He sits 3rd in the standings. He, along with Kinzer, Schatz, and Myers, are the only guys that have more than one Advance Auto Parts A main win. What about up there on the front row? Let's get a last-minute thought from Shane Andrews down in the pits about Tony Bruce Jr.
Tony Bruce Jr. and his crew have been working on the jetting to get more throttle response on the start. Tony said the key for him is to win the drag race into turn number 1.
And we'll see if he can get that done, Shane. It's going to be Brooke Tatnall and Tony Bruce Jr. as they come up to that white chalk line, the super clean banner. You'll see it there in the background when they come up to that chalk line. And greenage into turn number 1. Brooke Tatnall gets the jump. McCarl on the outside down the back straightaway. Oh, in trouble. We've got one upside down over in turn number 2. The yellow frame is a giveaway that's Brian Paulus in number 28.
Big gaggle of cars getting into 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 4 wide down there, and somebody got together, and you can see Brian Paulus's car upside down.
Brian from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, has been a driver that in the past has done well here at Knoxville Raceway. We're a little bit surprised to see him show up, but you see him popping out of the car there, Brad. That's a good sign.
It really is, climbing out on his own power. He looks okay.
Paulus been running this year mostly with the All-Stars, but he's always been a driver that does well here. Here's a replay.
Right in the middle of the racetrack there. Oh, it looks like Jason Johnson got a little sideways, got a tap from the 15 of Hafertepe. There you see it, he trips over the left rear. The tire's already flat at that point, peeled it off the rim, it looks like, and upside down he goes.
Hopefully we see that one more time. I'd like to see if he did indeed get a tap from Hafertepe, or was he just coming down the racetrack? He looked like he maybe was sideways and just tried to straighten himself out.
Yeah, it looked like maybe when he got a little bit sideways, Hafertepe with nowhere to go. Might have tagged him just enough, but definitely Jason Johnson came down. Brian Paulus was trying to make a run up through the middle, and they got together.
So tough break for Brian Paulus. It's good to see him out of the car and all right. Might be some other cars that suffered some damage in that situation. We're getting a report that Chad Hillier has some wing damage in car number 5C. So we'll hang on and see if that's going to affect Chad Hillier. There's Brian Paulus walking away and jumping on one of the carts there with the safety crew. Let's go down to the pits. Shane Andrews give us a further update on Chad Hillier.
Well, the crew for Chad Hillier is going to change the top wing. There's extensive damage to the right side of the wing on the front. You can see that it is bent back. So they are going to put a new wing on the 5C.
So they will go to the break, or we will take a break as they continue to work on the number 5C to try to get him back out. Stay tuned for more of the greatest show on dirt. It's the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws powered by Q at Knoxville Raceway. Brian Paulus upside down. He's probably done. We're back at the Knoxville Raceway. The feature event, the Advanced Auto Parts AMA, not getting off to a good start for Brian Paulus. Also Chad Hillier involved. Let's take one more look at what just happened here, Brad.
See the cars going into turn 1. Jason Johnson, in that, he almost got in the back. The red 6 car, the green 19 goes down. Brian Paulus nowhere to go. The car turns around, we call trips over the left rear tire. It peels it off the rim, and upside down he goes.
And so Brian Paulus gets out of the race car. He's okay. Well, one of the first on the scene following a wreck like we just saw is the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws Workin' Woody, the multi-purpose vehicle. That's the focus of this week's Advanced Auto Parts Turn 5.
Advanced Auto Parts presents Turn 5. Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaw sprint cars are known for incredible speed, dirt-slinging agility, and of course, that distinctive wing. While these brutally powerful cars are the main attraction, there's one winged icon that's become a fixture on the dirt oval for the past 3 decades.
Because he's the Woody and he goes everywhere with them.
Workin' Woody is the most recognizable push truck on the track, and he's the only one out here that was purpose-built from the ground up to serve sprint car racing.
First thing that came about was the push bar. Most of the time, any of the trucks just have a flat bar that's solidly mounted.
Art and Carol Melees have been touring the country with Woody since 1988, working between 70 and 90 events per year.
It started life as a 57 Jeep FC-150, which is one of the little cab-over pickups.
While Woody has become a crowd favorite with the die-hard dirt track fans, he's also pretty popular with the kids. He even has his own merchandise, a collector car, t-shirts, and stickers. Eric Melees is Art and Carol's only son, and he's in training to carry on the Workin' Woody tradition for another generation.
Though the working Woody, a great thing to have at the races. You are watching the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q on speed. We'll come back, try to get this Advance Auto Parts A main restarted after these messages. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to Knoxville in the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. Trying to get tonight's feature underway. They'll take another crack at it, Brad, as pole sitter Brooke Tatnell leads them to the restart.
Well, it did look like Tony Bruce's car did take off better on that initial start. We saw in the dash he had some trouble, but let's see if he can stay with the Australian on the front start of this one again, as we try to get him going to get through 3 and 4 here.
So Brooke Tatnell, the Aussie, on the pole inside the front row. Tony Bruce Jr. from Liberal, Kansas, outside of that row number 1. Donnie Schatz and Terry McCarl, the 2 big names looming here. If you remember last year to our coverage, Terry McCarl winning this event last year at this time. Donnie Schatz, of course, winning 5 of the last 7 at this racetrack. Down the back straightaway, it's going to be Brooke Tatnell who has the lead.
Saw some cars. The racetrack is very tight right now. Means sticky. Oh, almost getting together, Terry McCarl and Schatz.
Shane Stewart passing Jack Hodenschild, moves up into the 5th position in the Roth Motorsports number 83. Now McCarl going after Tony Bruce. Down the back row. Problems for Terry McCarl.
Had a good run. That car looked extremely fast around the outside. We saw him going around cars, having trouble as the car rolls to a stop.
Heartbreaker for the Altoona, Iowa boy, Terry McCarl. 45 career wins at Knoxville Raceway, including his first with the World of Outlaws last season. 6 times the track champion. We've documented it. And Terry McCarl has some serious issues there in the number 24 car, already taken off the helmet. That's never a good sign.
That's not a good sign. And I was just talking about the racetrack being so sticky that it might have thrown some guys off the race car tight, but Terry was able to run up in that sticky stuff. The car looking really good at this point of the race. We'll have to get a word to see what happened.
So with McCarl out, move everyone beyond 3rd, where the 24 was running up a spot. It'll be Tatnell under pressure from Schatz on the restart, and that's going to put Shane Stewart in the mix in the number 83. Stewart is in a Kent Performance chassis, or KPC. That's the same custom builder that has been given heavy credit for Jason Meyer's early season success.
And it looks like a very serious problem for the big game tree stands, number 24.
Yeah, I thought I saw, something, a chunk of mud or something maybe come off that race car at one point, but can't tell anything from this angle what it might be. Try to get a word.
Crew members running here and there. That's all part of the deal. No radio communication between the teams and the driver, so it is kind of a deal, Brad, where you have to wait for the driver to pull up and give you some kind of idea of exactly what the problem is. Shane Andrews, you're on it.
Yeah, Terry McCarl's in the work area. Reese leaned in and he's got his helmet off. I asked him what happened. He said one word: drive line.
Not good. He would need, if it's a drive line, Brad, wouldn't you say he would need a red flag situation to have any chance at fixing that to get back out?
Yeah, unless it maybe just popped out of gear. The rear ends in these cars just are locked in or out of gear. There's no transmission. And where they're working on this car, it may have just jumped out of gear. We'll have to get word. And they can sometimes lock it back into gear and maybe clamp it into gear. Once he gets going, he's okay. Now, when he wants to stop, we have to lock the brakes up and just kill the engine. But if it's something more serious, they're probably done.
And again, we do want to clarify, it will be a single file restart here to get them back going. They're not going to be double wide. McCarl putting the gloves back on. Maybe he is going to be able to get back out there.
He's got his helmet on, putting the gloves on, so maybe they're telling him that they think they can, but they're rolling it back and forth. It's not locked into gear at that point.
McCarl saying that he's had some motor problems at the earlier race here. That was on May 3rd, so he was looking forward to getting back here and trying to get a finish up in the front here. They have a 2-minute clock, and they're getting down to about 40 seconds for these guys to get themselves back out onto the racetrack.
Yeah, these guys have a 2-minute work area. They can pull into this designated area and sit there for 2 minutes under the clock to try to get the car fixed. And it doesn't look like they're going to make it. That car is not locked into gear. And it looks like they're rolling it back to the trailer.
Rolling it back towards the trailer, Shane Andrews.
Crew obviously disappointed as they push the car back. I've got Dave Lawrence, the crew chief. Dave, what happened with the car?
Looks like the gear selector got stripped or something. We're not sure exactly, but we'll look into it some more. But it looks like the gear selector stripped on it. And it's one of those things.
Tough night for the 24 car. He had high aspirations coming back to Knoxville.
Yeah, very tough to swallow for Terry McCarl, and we're going to be going back to green here as they come off of turn number 4. And Doug Clark waves the green flag. We're back at it. Shots going to the outside, trying to pick up second around Tony Bruce Jr. He sweeps around him in turn number 2. Donnie Schatz moves into the runner-up spot.
And you got to wonder, when McCarl went by him on the outside, Schatz says, now wait a minute, there might be something up there. He sneaks up there and gets around Tony Bruce.
Shane Stewart running in 4th, right behind Bruce. There's Jack Hottenschild in the R19 car 5th. Jason Myers in the GLR Investments number 14 running 6th, and caution on the speedway. Yellow flag and a car moving very slowly. That's Dusty Zomer in the 5Z over in turn number 3. So one of your local boys, Dusty Zomer, in the 5Z car coming to a stop over there on the back chute. 22-year-old from Brandon, South Dakota. Shane Andrews is down with Terry McCarl.
Well, if looks on a face could write a book, this one would say disappointment. Terry, a tough break.
That stuff don't happen to you when you're running 17th. We had a car to beat tonight, I think. Especially there in the feature, everything's running great, and this is my my favorite track, and looking forward to battling with them guys. And I think we had them, so just real disappointing. Something broken in the drive line, I'm not sure yet, but we'll be back.
Tough one there for Terry. He'll go back into the lounge and try to figure out exactly what he's going to do. He'll come back tomorrow. Maybe won't get a lot of sleep tonight, but he'll be back. You're watching the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q on Speed. Welcome back to Knoxville, the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws Sprint Cars, powered by Q. The America's Best Value in race recap with 2 laps complete. Brooke Tatnell is the leader of the race. Right now they're showing Tony Bruce in 2nd position. Donnie Schatz had just passed him, but the yellow flag came out, and apparently Schatz has gone back behind Bruce here, Brad, but he'll have to try to repass him again.
Yeah, when you make a pass, you have to complete the lap before it's scored, and so, yep, Schatz will have to try it again. It'll be interesting to see if Tony Bruce moves up, getting into turn 1 and tries to block the move this time.
Shane Stewart is in 4th right now. Jack Hottenschild in 5th. Jason Myers and Joey Saldana running 6th and 7th, respectively. And then there's Donnie Schatz in the Armor All number 15.
So good at this racetrack. And looking at Tony Bruce and Brooke Tatnell in front of him right now, do you think it's just a matter of time?
Well, we talked about in the open, this guy's won 5 out of the last 7 races here. I mean, this has got to be his favorite racetrack, and he got around Bruce, and he had a really big run on Tatnell down the back straightaway. Tatnell may have seen the 5 car and got out of the throttle, but boy, Schatz had a run on him, so we'll see what he can do on this restart.
Donnie Schatz. Well, I know this. If I was a fan of either one of the 2 cars that are up in front, you'd definitely be concerned at this point having that number 15 car running in 3rd. So Doug Clark waves the green flag, and we'll try it again. Shane Stewart going to take a look down low as Schatz goes to the outside of Tony Bruce. And same move, and he gets the job done once again. Give Donnie Schatz 2nd position.
Makes it look easy there. Had a big run. Look how he pulled away from him, and he's closing in on Tatnell down the front straightaway.
So it's Tatnell, Donnie Schatz running 2nd. Shane Stewart's got something going in the Roth Motorsports number 83 as he pulls up to challenge for 3rd as we watch Schatz continuing to run in the runner-up spot.
Good shot there. You could see the right rear dig in as he got into 1, hit a little bit of a hole. About 7 to 8 pounds of air in the right rear tire, that big old thing, and you can see it roll under as he gets into the corners. Good battle. You could see right behind that was in 3rd and 4th.
Yeah, Shane Stewart's able to get around Tony Bruce and put the Roth Motorsports number 83 into the 3rd position. So Shane Stewart coming forward. Shane won the 360 Nationals here at Knoxville last year, and now Schatz closing in on the leader down the back straightaway.
Bobby, you and I talked about it a lot. These guys have no rear view mirrors, or you said earlier, no contact with the crew to tell Tatnell up front there that Schatz is coming or what line he's running. You can see there, Tatnell running the top, Schatz running the bottom of the racetrack.
The only communication that you can have is some sort of a hand signal, and they've even tried to police that a little bit by keeping crews back away from the racetrack and not allowing them to, hang blackboards over the backstretch fence anymore because of the safety concerns, right, Brad?
Absolutely. A little bit of a wiggle there. Schatz, the track is starting to slick off. You see it there, Tatnell's car hang out, and you can see how much he lost as Schatz pulls in, but down, look for the black right there on the front straightaway. That's slick. They can get some wheel spin in that, but right there in the corners it can be treacherous because you go from the slick to the heavy, back to the slick again. The car really twitches around on you a lot. So you can see there, if any of them make a mistake, if Tatnell makes a mistake, Schatz closes right in on him. Again, if Schatz makes a mistake, Tatnell pulls away, and you can see it right there on the right. Boy, Tatnell moves way high getting into 1 that time.
Yeah, and that might open the door a little bit for Donnie Schatz. Schatz is still right there close with him. Brooke Tatnell hitting his marks, though. And Schatz not able to get around him so far. We'll see if traffic could decide this one. We're 10 laps into our 25-lapper. The Advanced Auto Parts A main shows Brooke Tatnell, the transplanted Australian who makes his home here in the United States during the summertime. Actually, spring, summer, and fall, really. He's almost here all the time. Still manages to get back to Australia to do some racing, but an Australian chassis and Australian motor in the 11AU car as Brooke Tatnell continues to get the job done.
Well, now he moves down, though. Oh, that was 3 and 4, down tight again. Schatz moving down on the bottom. Now we're down to 1 and 2. Let's see if Tatnell's got a really good run off it, too. You can see it there. Schatz got a little bit sideways in the slick part of the racetrack, but that traffic you talked about, they're coming up on it now.
Yes, they are. It won't be long before the racing's going to get a little bit more serious here for Brooke Tatnell, trying to hold back Donnie Schatz. Schatz takes a look down to the inside. Tatnell's still there on the outside. In the meantime, Shane Stewart is catching up to the 2 leaders. Shane Stewart is about to make this a 3-car battle as they approach traffic.
Boy, Tatnell, you can see, Bobby, Schatz got under him, and he saw him, so he turned the car left. Really starting running the tight car bottom of the racetrack, though, but now he moves up. Good race coming up, as you said, with G83 sneaking up in there.
Lap 15 to 25, and Shane Stewart closing up on Donnie Schatz as the 3 leaders close up on traffic. They've gotten away from the rest of the field. They're a couple of seconds ahead of Tony Bruce Jr. and Jack Hodenshield.
Boy, and traffic can make or break it as the leader of the race. Again, you don't know who. Look at this.
Stewart going to the outside with some pressure for Schatz.
I was just getting ready to say, as a leader, you don't know who's back there racing around, moving all over the racetrack, what line they're happening to find. You try to run your race, so Tatnell doesn't see this race behind him, so when he gets to a lap car, he may be uncertain on where to go. Should he get off the bottom? Should he try to go around the lap car on the outside or not? Very tough decision when you're the leader of the race from the get-go.
Shane Stewart, heavy pressure to the back of Donnie Schatz. You see Tony Bruce still hanging in 4th. Traffic will be an issue. Here comes Schatz to the inside of Brooke Tatnell, and a little sign of smoke from the 11AU. And it just let go.
Right in front of Shane Stewart. You can see Shane Stewart almost got over the back of him there, but tough luck for Tatnell.
We saw this happen to Brooke Tatnell last year in the Volcano Joe's #2 car, leading at Fargo, North Dakota, if you remember that. And I believe he popped a tire going into the turn, had a Advanced Auto Parts A main taken away from him.
When these things are so hard to get a win out here, and to have one taken away, car looks strong. Boy, that's a heartbreaker.
So the 4-time Australian Sprint Car Pole Driver of the Year, Brooke Tatnell, leading the race and has it go up in smoke, and that car, it looks like, just going to be dead in the water out there on the racetrack.
I'll tell you who's happy that he didn't get off the racetrack and the caution came out is Shane Stewart, because he was coming, he was fast, but he got into the back of Tatnell when he blew the engine, and Donnie Schatz had gotten away from him. Now this caution will bunch him back up and give the 83 car, put him right on the back bumper of the 15 again.
They probably won't see traffic with about 7 or 8 laps to go. We'll come back and decide this one. We're going to dive to a break to service our sponsors. This is the Advanced Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q on Speed. Welcome back to Knoxville Raceway, getting set to resume this one with 18 laps down and just a handful of laps to go here in this one, as we are going 25 laps tonight. 7 laps to go. Donnie Schatz picks up the pace. We'll see if Shane Stewart can muster a challenge for him. Tony Bruce hanging right there in 3rd. Stewart fast on the outside, Brad.
Boy, he has a good run off of turn 2. Schatz on the bottom, leaving the outside. Oh, and he moves up.
A little too close for comfort right there between the 15 and the 83. This is great sprint car racing.
Schatz is making that race car awfully wide, doing what he needs to do to hold Shane Stewart back.
Shane Stewart, we know he has speed. He won the Quickliner Cup for the Fast Time Award for the first dozen races. The Q Oil's Quick Timer was Shane Stewart picking up that $5,000 in bonus money, and right now he's trying to steal away an Advanced Auto Parts A main from Donnie Schatz.
Boy, and the laps are running out, but everywhere he wants to go, Schatz is there. Schatz is going in on the bottom and sliding up. Not a lot of room out there. The racetrack is fairly narrow as the caution flag comes out again.
And it's a problem for Davey Heskin, has popped his right rear tire. The number 56 machine. The 20-year-old Davey Heskin coming to a stop over in turn number 2, 3rd generation racer. Did a nice job in his heat race earlier tonight to withhold some of the top drivers and get himself a spot in the Crane Cam's dash. did Davey Heskin, so a tough one for him. He's been improving by leaps and bounds, too. He was quick time here in the weekly show last week at Knoxville Raceway, so
yeah,
tough break for Davey Heskin.
Not mistaken, I think he finished second last week, so yeah, the kid's making a name for himself in a hurry here.
Doing a fantastic job. Let's go downstairs to Shane Andrews, who's caught up with Brooke Tatnall.
Brooke obviously dejected. What happened with the race car?
I don't know if we burned a piston or it's something. The motor just started to slow down and rattled coming down the front straightaway. So I don't know what's. I don't know. We've heard the motor is what the end result is, and pretty much puts us out for the weekend now. So
a tough breakdown here in the Brooke Tatnall camp.
Yikes.
Well, you can see the frustration.
Brooke Tatnall wearing it on his sleeve, as he always does. He's one of the good guys of sprint car racing. A lot of people really fond of Brooke Tatnall, but not a lot of luck here so far in 2008. The first World of Outlaws show here earlier in the year, he had a big flip before things even got started, I believe, back in hot laps, and hurt a car really bad. So tough deal for Brooke Tatnall right now.
Well, there's a saying, Bobby, when you're out here, you got to pay your dues, you know, and Brooke Tatnall is definitely a guy that has paid his dues through the years. Very, very successful down in Australia, and really successful over here as well, but just a lot of unfortunate things happening.
Now, what do you think? Donnie Schatz and Shane Stewart. It's coming down to a showdown between those two guys? Stewart, the winner of the 360 Nationals here last year. Donnie, the winner of the Knoxville Nationals for 410 sprint cars. Schatz jumps on it, gets a little bit of separation here on the restart. Stewart goes right back to the outside.
If Shane can ever get up alongside of him coming off the corner, but I don't know if he can get far enough around it to hold Donnie down as they get up off the corner, because you can see right there, coming off the corners, Donnie comes up, Stewart with no place to go.
You remember seeing this close of a battle? Oh, they touch. I was going to say without touching, and they finally did touch, but give Shane Stewart the lead.
Unbelievable. We had a good run going on the out, and to do it on the outside as well.
Yeah,
that was a bold move.
That is impressive. KPC chassis, the number 83 car, and a battle for 6 going on right now between Joey Saldana and Jack Hodenschild. Hodenschild running in the 6th position. Should be looking for a white flag here, I believe, next time by.
Bonsai Bruns, the crew chief on the 83 car. Those guys starting to get it together as we see the good battle back here.
Saldana still working on Hodenschild. The white flag is out one more time around for Shane Stewart. And we talked just really quickly about that KPC chassis. Since they've switched over to that chassis prepared by Steve Kent out of Fresno, California, they've been fast. And we don't want to confuse anyone. That's actually a little bit different than what Jason Myers is running, as Shane Stewart wins the Mediacom shootout here at Knoxville Raceway.
And Steve Kent's phone is probably going to be ringing off the hook.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Second career A feature event win in Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws competition for Shane Stewart. His 4 career wins at the track, including a preliminary feature with the World of Outlaws in 2005. So fantastic job there by Shane Stewart, and congratulations to that team all the way around. Bonsai Bruns and Dennis and Teresa Roth, everybody involved in that one. They're going to be celebrating tonight. We will go to a break, come back and hear from the happy winner and recap all the rest of the stories. Lots more to come. This is the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, powered by Q. Well, this was the scene a moment ago. A big win, the first of the 2008 Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series for Shane Stewart. The crowd's still buzzing down there over the pass that Stewart made around the outside of the 2-time defending champion, Donnie Schatz. And as you can see, one happy crew down there in the Q victory lane. Shane Andrews has the word with Shane Stewart.
Shane Stewart, what a drive. Wow, take us through that pass for the lead.
I thought he was going to be able to hear me up top, and if he took my line away, I was going to be done. I wasn't near as good as he was on the bottom, but, oh, man. I don't think I breathed the last 7 laps. Bonsai and Kevin's been doing a great job for me all season, and we put together a new Steve Kent car, and this thing's been awesome. And we've been knocking on the door, and it feels good to get one, I can tell you. It's my guys, we haven't raced much because of rain, but there hasn't been a team out there that's worked as hard as mine has, and it feels good to get a win, I can tell you, and especially to beat that 15 here. He's been the king here for quite some time, and it feels good to be, I can tell you. It just feels good to be up here, and I got to thank Dennis and Teresa, and of course all of our sponsors. Paul Kistler did a great job with our motors. We've been qualifying in the right spot, which is important, and whew, feels good.
You guys have really been coming together the last 5 races.
Well, I think it's just because we're racing. You know, we'd race a race and then we'd be off for 2 weeks, or race 2 and then be off for 3. And thanks, buddy. Thank you. And you know, now that we're getting in a rhythm, it's starting to pay off for us. So yeah, just hopefully the Mother Nature stays away and we can keep this streak alive.
Shane Stewart, the World of Outlaws, Advance Auto Parts, a main feature winner.
And Shane Stewart referencing Kevin Loveys and Dennis and Teresa Roth in that interview. There's the pass once again. We'll catch up with Donnie Schatz when we come back and find out how he felt about running second tonight. The Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series is brought to you by Super Clean. Not just clean, super clean. By Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. And by Advance Auto Parts. Keep the wheels turning. Let's check out our Rite Aid race recap now. As you see, the happy winner, Shane Stewart. This one getting off to a pretty wild start here for our 25-lapper, Brad. 24 cars strong. Everybody gets the green flag safely, but as they went into turn number 1, you look at the middle of the screen, you'll see Brian Paulus in the white number 28. He's got trouble.
A good run through the middle, but the 6 car and the 19 almost get together. Then Brian Paulus gets into the back of the 19, turns it around, gets upside down. Another look at it there, tags him, turns around, peels the left rear tire off the rim. That turns the car upside down again, but he was okay.
And then Terry McCarl running in the 3rd position in car number 24 ran into a problem, so heartbreak for him. Brooke Tatnell in the lead of the race, the 11AU under heavy pressure, and then he broke.
Broke right in front of Shane Stewart there, gets in the back of him, but gets by. The yellow came out.
And then an epic battle for the lead here. This is one we'll be talking about for some time to come. Donnie Schatz and Shane Stewart toe-to-toe.
Pretty bold statement when you go around Donnie Schatz on the outside of Knoxville. A little contact there as they go down the back straightaway. They both brought it home to the finish line.
Good sprint car racing here tonight from Knoxville. Let's take a look at the order of finish. Shane Stewart the winner, Schatz second. Jason Myers gets by Tony Bruce, ends up in 3rd. Bruce with a nice job. And let's give Sam Haferteep Jr. a shout out. He started 16th, finished 8th with no power steering for much of the race.
That's tough to do. These cars are really hard to steer anyway, but boy, you lose that power steering, very tough.
11th through 20th, good run for Lucas Wolf.
Started 18th, brought it home in 12th. A good run for that team.
And finally, your final 4 there, Tatnell in the 11AU, Ricky Logan, Terry McCarl, and Brian Paulus. Well, Shane Andrews caught up with our 2nd place finisher, Donnie Schatz.
Donnie Schatz, obviously not the interview that you wanted to do tonight, 2nd place. Take us through the last couple of laps from your perspective.
Actually, when we got racing Brook there, I thought we had a left rear tire going down. I don't know, for some reason I kept laying left real hard and just the left rear tire wouldn't hold me up. But anything could happen. I mean, a bleeder could have stuck. Tried my best. I mean, them guys deserve that. They drove right by us and went on. Them last couple restarts, you know, we had a good line going there. I could kind of hear somebody back there and just tried to run my line, and he just went right on by. He could keep his speed up, and I just couldn't keep my speed up at the end of the race. I don't know, kind of almost like we poured armor oil in the tank or something, and it wasn't burning just right. So maybe there's something wrong. Maybe we just got beat. I don't know. We'll go back and work harder for tomorrow night.
Donnie Schatz walks out of here tonight with a 2nd place finish.
Well, armor all makes your car look good, but you don't want it in your tank, do you, Brad?
No, you don't want to try to burn that in the fuel system, but good. A little dejected there. 2nd place, not good enough for this team, especially with their record here at Knoxville.
Donnie Schatz will be back. Well, next week, don't forget it's round 2 of the Mediacom Shootout at Knoxville, 4 p.m. Eastern time on Speed. That's on Saturday, so don't forget to mark your calendars for that one. That's going to do it for us. For Shane Andrews down on the pits, for Brad Doty up here in the booth, I'm Bobby Gerald. We hope you enjoyed the show. For more on the Advance Auto Parts World of Outlaws, visit worldofoutlaws.com and speedtv.com. Congratulations to our winner from Knoxville, Shane Stewart.